Welcome to Dev Street. In this video, we are going to create a full CRUD application using React, Vite Tailwind CSS, and the context API. No Redux, no extra libraries, just clean modern React. Whether you are a beginner or brushing up your React skills, this is going to be hands-on, fast-paced, and super practical. So let's dive right in and code along with me. We will use some docs, so it will also help you to in future how we have to start from the beginning. Okay, so let's start. So the first task is to create a React application using Vite. Okay, so let's go to the Vite website. So Vite.js, let's go there, get started. Now we'll see. Okay, so first of all, the prerequisite, we need to install the node. Without the node, it will not work. So prerequisite is that you need to install that node first. So if you haven't installed node yet, so please visit Node.js website, Node.js, and download your version. And once you download it right from there, install it. You can check the version like I'm using Node 20. Okay, as you can see, I've already installed it. So if still you want how to install the Node, uh, comment. I will make a tutorial on that. So meanwhile, let's continue with the Vite only. So here we already have a yarn or npm. So I'm going to use the npm command because most of the users probably using the npm. So let's use that copy and so press Y. It asks you to create a project name. Okay, so we'll enter CRUD application. So it will select the multiple framework we have. So we have to choose one. So we'll select React. Now they have variant like TypeScript, some bullet code we have with JavaScript. Right, we will continue the simple JavaScript only right now. So what's it say? CD CRUD application. Basically, they created the CRUD application folder, and we need to go inside that CD CRUD application. Now let's open. So as you know, we have already, right? So and the another command is npm install. Okay, so let's start npm install. Let's wait for a minute. We'll see. Okay, installed. Let's go to packages on. So as you can see, our project name is CRUD application. We have the script. So in the dev environment, we can run the dev script. So basically npm run that to run the application in the local. So it says on this URL, you can visit our application. See, we have. So we have this application, right? It's working. Cool. So let's go there. In the src, this is our root component. So just remove that. Just wait. Remove the whole code and create a simple component app. Okay. A streak. We have to export default app. Okay. So let's see. It's rendering or not. Okay. That's rendering. Well, it is styling. Some CSS is applying. Okay. Let's close this. Some CSS is applying there. So okay. Cool. If you go main.jsx, right? So it has an index.css. So probably it has some CSS. Okay. Cool. So remove whole code. Start from beginning. There is some background property. Remove that too. You can do that. So now we don't have anything. We are just remove our old code. So first task that we already done, right? It's done. Now let's move to set up Tailwind, right? So Tailwind is pretty much popular, so that's why I thought to use Tailwind instead of writing your manual CSS code. So let's go to the Tailwind website and we'll check how we have to install the Tailwind in our application. Okay, Tailwind CSS. Let me, let's say we are coming there, right? So just click on get started. Well, we have created our application using Vite, so we can follow the instructions. So it says that we need to install, basically run this command, install Tailwind CSS, right? So let me, okay, start. If you go to the package.js one, right? You'll see Tailwind CSS slash Vite, Vite, or whatever you want to say. So Vite. Now we have to define the configuration for that. So it says in the Vite config.ts or Vite config.ts we have present, right? And in there we have the plugin Tailwind CSS, right? So copy this. Now we need to import as well. We have imported that. Okay, in the CSS file, basically let's go to the there and add this. Now we'll run. Let's start the project. Okay. So as you can see, font little bit changed, but let's say test it. Okay. So we'll see if there is button, right? Wait, let me check. We have something there are components. Okay. UI blocks. Let me preview. Okay, cool. There is. Okay. So let's test it. Preview the code, right? So let's, for the testing purpose, just don't think much. I'm just testing it's fully working or not. So I'm copying this code and I'm going to our application. So let's see our application is random or not. See, it's working. That means we have installed successfully, right? So let me remove again. Let me remove again, okay? And we'll start from the beginning. H1, welcome to district. Okay, cool. So Tailwind in CSS is also done, right? So let mark it down there. It's done. Now we need to continue to CRUD application with context. So hope you know about what is context and why we are using it. Okay, but let me give a brief idea about that. In the React application, we have multiple component, right? And we need to share some state with some component, right? So in some cases, prop drilling is not a feasible way. So we need to use the central state. So for that, there are multiple approach we can follow. Like we can use the Redux and we can use a context API, but Redux is a third-party library. So third library. So you have to install it, right? But itself, there is a React and we have the approach context API. So we can take leverage of that. But so why not? Okay. So let's say we have some small feature where we want to share some state, right? In some particular component. So we can take the leverage of that as well. So for the basic CRUD application, I thought to use context, no Redux. So we'll see how we have to use it. Okay. So first of all, mm, okay. So in there, let me create a context. We'll see CRUD card, right? So let's say app is called CRUD user. we'll call it user, okay. We'll index dot j6 const user return dev user export default user. So here we can use the user, okay. So let's check we are able to see user or not. Yes, we have the user. Now let's make a form. So I can create manually, but let's say if we have some pre cooked HTML, so it can save our time. So we can let's look for the form, okay. So there is okay. So we have the code, right? And as you can see, we have this simple code. So let's copy whole code. And I will explain you. Okay. Wait. Mm, Anyway, leave it. We'll create our own. Okay. So let's say it's user table. So first, what we need to create. Uh, let's go to the requirement. Okay. First. So it's a user form. Okay. So there is a name, email field we have, right? So we can first create the HTML form input type text name make sure name should be present always. So what was that? Name email age. Okay. So name it's name mm, name. Okay. Let's copy multiple and okay. Now this we have some name email age. So we'll say text type email. We can say number. Let's see we are able to see the form or not. Hmm. Inspect. Root dev form. Okay. We have see. So first of all, mm, so we'll see where is it. So we'll see the body, right? In the body, the color will keep as black. Okay. This is not working. What is that's strange. Okay. Last thing, that's dash black. Okay. VG dash teal 500. Let's see. I'll be able to see that. Okay. Yes. We have. Remove that. So basically, what's happening, right? So if we focus it, it will show you. So we'll say last thing. So what the focus? Okay. So basically, if we remove the focus, the color is changing. So we'll go there and just go there. Okay. And let's copy this first. I'll explain. Input. closing tag. Okay. So what we are doing here? Okay. So we have autocomplete email required true. So you block this basically it's a take a full width, the block level element, right? It's a full width of the container. We are keeping the rounded MD. That means we have the corner, right? Which is corner, okay? Is rounded MD. So basically it's a class, and background we are keeping the white. And let's say we don't want to, and we were surprised that why we were not able to see the focus color. So if I remove that, okay, focus. So basically what we're missing the outline. Okay, so now see it's working. So outline properties help you to basically see the UI. Okay, so copy, we can reuse that component input, right, which is help, say type text, it's name, right, ID, we can say name, autocomplete, that not required for as of now. Okay, cool. Now input type email, name, email, ID, email, that is fine. We'll keep the required true, and I'm not changing the class. Okay, but let's say we need some spacing, right? So either what we can do, let's say we can do the flex. So it's inline. So basically, by default, it's a flex row, right? We need to call it column. So in the call, now we want some gap, right? So basically, by using some class name, right, we can define easily. We don't need to write everything manual CSS, right? So you can save the time. If you want more live video on the Tailwind, just let me know in the comment. I will help you. Okay. So and also you can see there is a lot more width we have, right? So let's define the width. Okay. Mm, so define the width class. So let's say width is, we can call it width as 2%. Okay. That's a per. Now we want to center. So we'll go to the, we'll see how much space we are taking, right? Class. Let's say border. We'll see how much space we see. We have full width, right? So what we can do now, we can do the flex, the flex. Now justify center align. Now we have the center one. Hmm. Remove that border. So we have the form, right? That is more work. Okay, now see. Let's add the placeholder as well. Enter user name here, placeholder. Enter user email, and we call it age, right? So I call it number, age. Okay, and the placeholder will see. Sorry, will say enter user age. Okay, cool. Now we have this, right? Correct. So each form has mm, okay, okay. We have to use a class name everywhere. The React, right? That's right. Let me refresh. Yes. No. So in the form, we need a one more button. So let's create a button as well. button, right? So we call it submit, right? Let's give it the last name BG color. So background color we need to give set a BG tail 500. So we have this, right? And why not? Let's pick from there the button preview. There should be the button sign in, right? So we can use the same button. Hmm. Let's call this copy this. So input tab. And let's see, we have the button. Yeah, we have good, beautiful button we have. So let's change it. Uh, let's see, create user, or let's call it submit. Okay, I hope till now you guys are good. Let me know if in the comment if you are facing an issue, right? I will reply. So let's test it. We are getting, anyway, let's type. See, I'm able to type it. Streak, streak at gmail.com. Let's say 27, right? And we have the submit. Okay, okay, okay. Will we see one behavior, right? Oh, guys, you see. Okay, so we have given the input type submit. That means in the form it will on submit. Okay, we can add the event handler on submit form submit, right? So what happens actually if if okay, it's a required, right? Let me comment the required for as of now, because we we have the form tag, right? And inside if we mark the required, so the if and your button is submit type. So what happens? It will trigger this component, but it will check the whole field should, which is a required true, right? So it will check the validation accordingly. And if it is failing the validation, it will not submit the button. So let's say user Gmail, right? And we have 22. And if I submit, just see, it should be refresh. Let's refresh, right? So we need to prevent that basically. And what's happening? There e dot prevent default. It's a default behavior which we have to prevent it, right? So let's in the last one, yeah, the submit what I was. See, now it's not refreshing. Hmm. But if I uncomment this and it's refreshing, right? So let's keep the same. And so we have the form, right? We have the form. So basically we have the form. Okay. So I want to break it into a small component for a better practice that we have to follow in the code. So we'll call it user form as a component, right? So const user form and copy this piece of code. Context return export default user form. Now we'll call it user form. Okay, still it's working, right? So cool. Let's make this center as well. Where we are calling this app.js, right? Last name, text center. See, we have the center and we call it a font.bold. We can say font dot We can get the text size. We can increase the text size as well. I don't have four. Let's see. Two is fine. Let's give some color. Mm, Teal. And if you're confusing all that colors, right? So we can simply look tailwind color. There is the color, okay? Whatever you like, just pick it. I'm picking I'm thinking cyan. Okay, let's cyan 300. Okay, cool. And hope you're following me, guys. If you are still following some issue, still facing some issue, so just go back, basically pause the video, go back and watch again. And still you have some doubt, just ping in the comment. I will reply you. Okay. Now in the user component, we have the user form, right? Now let's create a user table. We need a table, right? Because what we are trying to do, we are creating a name, email, age, right? So the record that we have to show. So let's see if we have already present a table or not. So table, table. Okay, we have the table there. Mhm. Okay, there is the table. So there is table. Let's see there is another kind of the table. Do we have or not? Hmm. There are school table we have. We can pick. Let me pick this one. Okay, get the code. Okay, it's not free. It's not free. So we can take a reference and we can make it. Okay. So and, let me check the inspector we have or not. Let's make okay. Let's create another component. Use a table basics const use a table where use a table. Export this. Now go to the component and import. Use a table. Okay. First verify. Okay. It is there. Okay. Let's make the center as well. Justify center. Okay. Okay. Let's. So basically, we have two children, right? And by default, we have the row. So that's why it's rendering in the row. We need to make it column. Make W full. Where is the border? Okay. This is unnecessary div we have. Okay. Because it was taking the parent width and width was not defined. So I just moved unnecessary. table, we call class w full, width we'll see. So basically we'll say no. Okay, with 40% we are taking it and we are just making it in the center. Okay. And we can say let's keep the gap of 2. So it has some gap. Remove the border. Okay. Now create a table. So basically each table, right? Each table, in a table, if you go, we have table. In the table, we have the T and basically header and body. So we can say we call T head. In T head, let's say, and the T body. We have T body. So what I can say, it's a T head, right? It's a table head and it's a table body. Okay. So in the table head, basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. uh, So we want 3 information and 2 actions, right? So basically, so okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 actions. So we can call it 5 call we have, right? So we need to make empty head, basically 1 row we have, and we have ph. So name, let's copy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, name. Okay. Mm. Name. uh, Okay, let's give the serial number. Or okay, yeah, serial number. Name, uh, email, age, action. Okay, so the same thing we need to do here, but it will TD. It calls TD, and we have 2 actions: edit and delete. Edit and delete we have. So let's say we call it one name test streak at gmail.com, age 27. I didn't delete. Let's see how it's showing like that. Okay. Okay. And let go to the again tail. Okay. Yeah. Go to the documentation. If we get the some CSS classes, tables. Okay, there is. Okay, we have, right? So why not? There is. Wait, another side. So we have already, and I explained you everything, right? So let copy this one, section one. Let copy this. We paste it over here. It looks like same, but we will want an hour. Okay, so we can look properties. Fit the content of the table. Okay, so it will automatically fit, right? Um, so let's call it, what was the class? Table auto. We will put the content, and we need to give some self CSS as well. So just 1 minute. Okay, uh, do one thing. So well, we can take leverage from AI as well. Chat it, edit it. Okay, we can say make table good with tailwind. Okay, so it can save actually time for us. Accepted. Okay, okay, cool. See, it saves time, right? So basically, I use a cursor AI because it can save the time. CSS because my major focus is to help you to build application better in terms of logic. Okay, so as you can see, we can repeat the row. So it's a dev streak, right? We have these informations. Okay, so our basic layout is ready now. It was just a UI part, so we can say UI is done, right? So first UI done. Now logic, functional. Okay, functional logic, which is, so first we'll create a context. Okay, so let's say we call this user store dot ts, sorry, dot js. So what we have to do, first we need to create a context, right? So const, we'll create a user context equal to react dot create context. Okay, it's not importing automatically. I'm not sure what is the issue. Import react from react. Now, okay, this is the context that we created. Okay, so this context we want to use here, so which we can basically this component and this component can access it. Okay, so we have created the context. Now let me wrap this component with user context. I guess I have not exported it. Which, okay, export default user context. Okay, uh, go there, user context. Okay, now we need to take the leverage of provider. In the provider, we can wrap our component. Okay. So here we need to pass the value, which value is nothing but it's a state that you want to serve. Okay. So in the initial, just for purpose to show you, let me create an object. Okay. It's in tab streak at gmail.com. Okay. No, no email. Let's say I want to access this value, right, into user form. So how we have to use it? So what we can do, const, we have to use context. In the use context, we have to pass the context that we created. So that was user context. Okay. And let me call data. Let's see what data that we have. Go to console, there is that, check. See, we have the email, right? Now in form. So if you see, we have in the form. Okay. Same thing that we can access inside the table. If I go there and I pasted it, right, and see the table, right? So in the table we have as well. Now at two places we have used the context. Okay, so hmm, sorry. So let's create information first. Like we need to create a user form. Okay, so for that we have name, email, input type number. Okay, input type number and submit button. So we have to create an initial state for that. Okay, so we can call, and let's we call it user info. Okay, in the user info we have name, age, we have the email, right? This is we have. Now make sure you keep this key name as the same that we have. If you go to the form, we have, remember, we have the name, right? Name, email, name, age. It will help you to map. I can, okay, wait for a while. I will show you. So first of all, let's access those values into the user form. If you go to the user form, we have that data, right? So go there, the user form, in the user info, we have the name, age, email, right? So it's user info. Okay. In the user info, we have name, age, email. So let's map it value. So user info dot name value equals to user info dot email and user info dot age. Okay. Now we cannot type it because now it's a control listed controlled component. We have basically map our input with a value with this key, right? So let me go to there. We have the context here. If I pre-fill this value, right, into streak, at Gmail, and it's 27 as user age. So let me see why we are not able to show email. Okay, username, user info, user email or age. Okay, okay, sorry. It's email, it's age. Now, yeah, now we can see, right, in the form. Okay, so let's remove this first. Okay, now we need to see how we can update this. Now we have to map, we have mapped there, right? Now we need to see how we can update this one. Okay, so basically we can define a function there to update those state. Okay, so so uh, in the user context we already created a user info, right? So we can instead of writing everything there, let what I say, and let to I state there const user info, set user info. Okay, we state, and this is the user info. Okay, and this user info we have passed it there, right? Now we need to add user. Okay, so we can see add user info. We need to call this function. So by using this function, we can update this state. Okay, so let's see if we are able to access this function into our form or not. We go there, right? Inspect console. Yes, as you can see, we have, right? So let's do one thing. We have the handler, right? So either we can make a independent handler. We can do one single handler. Okay, const on change handler to capture those value, right? So now let's say it is on change. We can map there in the same way we can copy. Okay, let's see what we are getting. Okay, so first we need to console two stuff. Name e dot target. Let's do this one. So if I type something, it should username. Okay, tab streak. As you can see, we have this all the stuff. Okay, so what I can, there is a two thing we can do. E dot target dot name, e dot target dot value. See, name, email. Okay, it's a value. So what we can do, we can make a user info. Okay, so whatever the user info we have, const update new fresh user info. Okay, so we can say e dot target dot name, e dot target dot value. Let's console this fresh info. So as you can see, name, right? But it's clearing the previous one value. So what I can do, first write this down, user info. It will store the previous value. Now we have this one. So there is a, what was that? That was add user info, right? So pass there and add user info. You can pass this fresh user info. So once we get this info, right? Wait, hmm, info. Okay. So let's console this. Are we getting the info or not? Hey. So we have seen name, age, email, but it's clearing the previous one. So what we can first let us set this. Okay. See in the form, right? We are able to get the name now, age or email. Email, get age. Okay. We are getting this. So okay. Now we need to call this on change handler. We need to call this actually on change handler. It's a wrong. Let me rename this. It is this one because we are changing and then right typing. Const add handler will do something else. It will add data to table. Okay. So let me go to the user form and there as on change handler. We can call it on change and handler. And this we don't have that. Let's check again. Refresh the streak at Gmail 27. So if you go to the user info, we have this right, and the user info it should be present. Okay, so this is done. Now on submit, we need to call add handler, which will push the data into the table add handler. So go to the add handler and okay, now this again for the record. Let's create a state list, set list, use state list. So whatever the data that we have, we need to push inside that list. So each record has to be pushed. So user info is a single and individual record, right? So we need to push into the array. So what we can do, set list prev new entry. Let's come on the top, user info, and we'll say it's prev. Okay, it's the add handler. Now we can, because we need to serve those state, basically list state into the table. So let's see the table. Are we able to get the list or not? And clear the console of form. Okay, so clear this dev streak at gmail.com 27. Okay, it is clear. So as you can see, entry is being created, right? We can create a multiple records, correct? But there is one more issue. The data is not clearing, right? So what we can do during the add handler, we can clear the state, set user info, name blank, email blank, age blank. What was this? Okay. See, it is cleared, right? But as you can see, we have the records, but we are not able to get it there. And mm, also, we need to create a unique ID. But anyway, mm, we'll we'll check later. Okay, about that in next video. I will guide you. So the record is being added to the there right now. Let's render into the table. It is the list, right? And we can see the row will repeat. Okay, so let's remove all and keep the one row. If list dot map is there, each item, it's a serial number, right? So serial number we can simply say I plus one, and there is a name, right? It's a item dot name, item dot email, and yeah, item dot age, and we need to pass the key. Basically, I make it optional. Let's say in some cases the data is not present, so map should not be run. Okay, so let me clear that. We don't have any data, right? So this is right. So let's create a user. It's creating a blank user actually. So let me make the required. So it will prevent to create a blank entry. So let's create a streak at gmail.com 7. See, record has been created. Now let's create John at gmail.com 28. It is being created, right? It is creating. Okay. Let me comment those changes right now. So comment dash m and create record. I will share this code with you guys so you can refer. Okay, now let's delete it. Okay, delete the record. So delete the record. Basically, what we can do here, const delete handler. Okay. So basically, based on the index, we can remove that. Okay. So let's for reason we don't have any ID, right? So based on that we can do, or else we can create ID. Okay. Const ID while creating. So we can say crypto dot for as of now, what we can do, we'll just date dot now. It will give you the basically timestamp. Okay, so we can use this as a ID. So we'll see ID is a number. Okay, okay, sorry. I'm supposed to work in the TypeScript. So we need to filter out if the particular record has those ID. So what we can do, I think I'm some mistake there. No. Okay. Now ID. So we need to filter out first. So const filtered list. Okay. So let's say list dot filter item dot ID. It should not be equal to passed ID, right? And now we need to update the set list, and we need to return the filter list. So ideally it should work. Let's check this. No, yeah, there we are, right? So we can delete handler. If we go there and the delete, so basically on click and item.id. So let's check again. User1 at gmail.com. It's 28 created. User2 at gmail.com. It's 29. Let's record that. As you can see, it's deleted. All right. Yes. So I have created a create and delete, right? And we are able to see the list as well there. Okay, let's say user1 again, gmail.com. So as you can see, we have the list now. If you still want to, it's a homework. If you want to perform edit, make some change and pre-populate those values there and make changes and tag me. And still, if you're facing some issues while edit, just put the comment I in the video and I will guide you. Okay. So let me comment dates. Dash and cut delete handler. Okay. So I will push and put into the description so you can check out the code as well. Okay. Okay, guys, we have covered how to create application, how to set up the Tailwind, right? Create the basic UI, and we implement the context, and then we have use the context of the form and the table and perform the delete as well. Edit is pending. Let me know if you still need edit so I can help you. Okay. Thank you guys. See you.